Recently online, I've been seeing a lot of videos, whether they're shorts or long format, of people doing tutorials of how to communicate more effectively. Of course, on the tin, it sounds amazing. Who wouldn't want to communicate at a higher echelon? For a long period of my late teens, I was very hooked on the idea of manipulation and trying to persuade someone to my way of thinking. Now, from what I've read and from my experience, if you are doing a presentation or a stand-up conveying of message, these tactics are useful and they work. But in the intimate, the personal, the friendly, it's completely socially illiterate to go about your life in this way. Hear me out. You as a person are completely normal. If you have a belief thinking you're fundamentally flawed, this is simply because you've been isolated for too long. Okay? No one is crazy. Everyone can act and speak and convey and converse in their own unique way. If you are in a situation where you think you have to be prudent with how you act, you are simply forming a citadel. What is a citadel? I ripped this from Chris Williamson. What I think it is simply a citadel is using a good habit to justify not doing a better habit. So I'll give you an example. If I'm trying to improve my social skills, my dating life, and my, in general, skills with women, I could form a citadel by saying, here goes, I'm not going to go out tonight because getting better sleep would be a better option. Both scenarios are good for you, but one is better, and the one which isn't as good is tied to a feeling of uncomfortability and a feeling of unconfidence. See, I'm justifying the fact that I'm not going to go out by saying I'll have bad sleep, maybe I'll drink, and it just be better for me to stay in bed. A few years later down the line, I'm still struggling because I made that active decision, because I was a pussy. Now, with tying this back to communication, I think so many young guys are so closeted and have such little experience in the real world, practical experience of conversing, that they are very vulnerable to being led down the road of almost, I want to call it, how can I call this? It's like self-improvement, but to almost a fanatical degree. Like a degree where you're looking at everything so meticulously and so precisely that you're missing out on the bigger picture. Because what is self-improvement at the end of the day? Self-improvement is trying to take the present moment, delaying gratification, not doing bad habits, and as a result, feeling better, having better outcomes in the future because of your past self. Now, if we take this in a holistic sense, we could just say, get out of your room, go speak to some people, and your social skills will improve. Yes, you will make mistakes, but that's part of the process. Too many people are stuck with the theory these days. Oh my God, if I could actualize the main problem with young men, Generation Z, it's simply too much theory, not enough action. Most young men would simply do better conversing, communicating, persuading even, by going outside and speaking to more people. Not fucking scrolling through YouTube trying to find the latest communication hacks. No, what you need to do is fill up a database within your head of all these micro interactions, which you're not actively logging them all, but your subconscious is picking up on these cues. These cues of when someone, maybe you're speaking to someone and someone like leans back a little. Okay, if you're not socially aware or socially lubricated, you may not pick up on the fact that that person's leaning back probably because they disagree with you. Maybe they're offended. Similarly, tone of voice and what people say. Because in this hyper-connected world where humans spend the majority of their waking hours looking at a screen, our relative level of sociability has inversely developed. You can translate this theory. I know it's fucking it's ironic how I'm speaking of a theory about thinking about less theory, but that's the only way, because I can't say my message without it being theory. But simply put, if you do 20% theory, 80% action, you'll get 80% of the results. Conversely, if you do 80% theory and 20% action, you'll get 20% of the potential results. You've heard of this, the 80-20 rule. I'm trying to apply it to theory and practicality. Too many men are paralyzed, stuck looking at tutorials, when what they actually need is to be in uncomfortable situations. And I'm not talking about fitness or boxing or gym, okay? That's just the bare fucking minimum. Doing any one of those, it's almost a sense of uncomfortability which is in a controlled environment because you're familiar with it. But taking that to the relationship level, for a lot of men, is simply uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. So when you have the moment, go speak to that guy. Ask him how his day was. Ask him what he's doing. Check if you have similar interests. If you see a hot girl, don't hesitate not to tell her, but at least have a conversation. Because I know a lot of guys say you shouldn't be too open about telling someone that you find them physically attractive. But at least you can get friend zoned. I'm telling you, okay? Come on. It's better. You will get more experience. This is the crazy part, because people will think this is crazy. it is better to get friend zoned than to not speak to women at all if you're trying to get experience with women. It's so fucking obvious. It's like such a rational conclusion to come to. But with the internet, I feel like there's been a sense of almost bastardization of the friend zone. It's all like, because I'll be very honest here. Because I haven't actually interacted with women much in my childhood, I've only ever been a non-relationship or someone who's actually interested with me. Because I will say in the past, I've had multiple girls who've found me attractive. I either realised too late or I simply was not ready yet. But what a lot of people, or guys particularly, in my opinion, is they need to find out at least what the friend zone is. Stop using the citadel of, oh, I'm not trying to get with a girl to get in the friend zone with her, to stop getting in the friend zone. Because you'll have more experience with women in the friend zone than with no fucking experience at all. So anyone who's going through a social crisis, a loneliness crisis, an anxiety crisis, a depression crisis, just get out there, just try and build up these relationships. Because humans are social animals, and a lot of people replace sociability for vices. Like in the worst case scenario, drugs. Not to get too deep though, that's simply my opinion. Way more people need to be taking action, less theory, have a little bit of theory, the rest, you gotta fucking find out yourself. And I'm still working on that as well. So let me know how your journey's going in the comments if you can. Thank you for watching this long if you're still here. I'll catch you in the next one.